Then we move on to the chapter number 13, operations management. Yeah. Operations management, it's all about, you might see the definition, the activities, decision, and responsibilities of managing production and delivery of production services. Easy terms, whatever you are producing in a company is processed through operations management. So operation management confirms how much resource should be produced, how much resource should reach the potential market. Operation functions the arrangement of resources that are devoted to the production and delivery of production resources. So operation functions is that how much resource you are actually producing, how much you are delivering the products towards customer, how much successful you are. Operation managers are the people who have particular responsibility for managing some or all the resources which compromise the operation functions. So operation managers are the people who will ensure that the target will be achieved by following the operational goals and objectives. Now, I'm going to teach you operations functions, very important area. But before that, we need to know how operation. Now, in management, we learn something called input, process, output. The same way in operations, also you have a process. Normally, you are learned this in your chapter number 1. Land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, information, knowledge is a part of input. Conversion process, how do we convert in operations management? Following the production procedure, determining the production method, occupying record resources, utilizing technological knowledge. So each management has a different way of process. So you need to be very concerned, because each management, each process is different to the management which they are actually doing. So production has a different process, and management has a different process. Now here they might ask, you need to follow a particular procedure when you convert. Then you need to decide which type of production method you're going to do. Finally, you take all the resources. Finally, you will be able to use the technology, not produce the goods and services. Importance and value of operations management. Why operations management is important? Now, you know, important operation management is related to production, right? So when you produce, why it is important? What are things you need to know? Production efficiency. How can you reduce the level of wastages? Profit maximization. If you can reduce your cost, the most income can be gained. Satisfaction of the customers. The more quality is controlled, the more satisfaction the employees will be. Effective utilization of resources, taking the maximum usage. Management of inventory, trying to manage the resources, like whatever the products comes first, you use them rather than using the last product. Capacity management, the areas where you can put the products and you see how much resource you need to use, everything will be concerned. Improvement of product quality, you see how to improve the quality. Quality will keep the customers with you. Create strong operation skills, so it will create a lot of good skills of the organization. Improvement of working conditions, supply chain management, and scheduling management. So this type of things can be seen in an organization. Then we move on next particular point. The functions belong to operations management can be shown as follows. So what are the operations management functions? Number 1, they are given production engineering, production planning, purchasing materials, production control, research and development. So again, in management, you learn 4 functions: planning, organizing, leading, controlling. Same way in operations management, you have 5 functions you need to know. Production is engineering, means in easy terms, designing the entire production area is known as production engineering. Which machine should come, which area, how it should be produced, how the work should flow, how the work should be carried out. Everything is discussed under production engineering. Production planning, having a plan, as I said, in planning you would have learned, you would have set targets. How do you achieve those targets will be learned under production planning. Purchasing materials speaks about how much materials you need to purchase to make the production planning move ahead, and production to move ahead in a smooth manner. Production controlling, ensuring that how much products you are planned, have you produced as per the planned products. Research and development, finally you find out what are the new ways to bring production to the company. Then when it comes to types of production, there are 3 types of production. Let me explain it in easy way. Number 1 is a job production. Number 2, batch. Number 3, flow production. The job production is where you produce one particular product based on individual customer specification. For example, customized cloth comes under job production. A customized wedding cake comes under job production. A customized wedding dress comes under job production. A private airjet or private airplane, customized airplane comes under job production. But you need to understand one particular thing. The person who is giving the job production is very skilled, highly talented, but super costly, because they spend their entire time to produce that particular thing. So they'll charge a lot high prices, but they will finish the product in a super quality, and they will keep the customers very happy. they will retain the customers as much as possible. But when it comes to batch production, they don't produce like job producers. They don't produce one particular customer one. The production, batch production, they produce like if you take bakery, they have egg bun, they have seeni sambal bun. They have so much of buns, and they will produce in batches like 25, 30, 50, something like that. And also you take uniforms in schools, that also comes as batch production. Each and every school will have a different uniform. So producing uniforms for different schools is a part of batch production. But here the job production, it always changes, so it takes a lot of time to produce. Batch production somewhat less time. When it comes to job production, they have good messages, but employees are highly recruited and they should be paid a good salary because they want always switching. And some employees will not like always switching. Flow production is not like that, producing one product to the entire market. We take Coca-Cola, we take Daily Milk as a good example. So Daily Milk is also produced one product, but for the entire market. So when they produce one product for the entire market, it's easy. So you put the product and you start selling it. That's what we say flow production. Let's see what are these advantages and disadvantages. Number one, they have main features: single one-off items, essential requirement, highly skilled workforce. Main advantages: able to undertake specialist projects or jobs, often with high value added, high levels of workers' motivation. Then you might see main limitation: high unit production costs, very time consuming, lot of costly, wide range of tools and equipment needed. You can't easily produce, you need to have a lot of accessories to do that. Then we have the next part: batch. Group of identical products pass through each stage. Labor and machines must be flexible to switch, making batches of other designs. So they should be able to switch into different designs. So the machine should be available in that particular flexible way. Some economies of scale. Sometimes you might achieve economies of scale. What is economies of scale? Reducing the production cost, increasing the profit. That's what we say. Economies of scale. Faster production with lower unit cost than job production. Some flexibility in design of product in each batch, because once you produce the design, you can do it. But in job production, it's not like that. You need to produce for each and every item. You need to have a design. High levels of stocks at each production stage. Unit cost likely to be higher than with flow production. When you compare to flow production, it's lower, but still it's a bit higher when it compares to job production. So we have the last one: flow, line, or mass production. Mass production of standardized goods. You produce one product to the entire market. What is the good thing? Specialized, often expensive capital equipment, but can be very efficient. The equipment what you're going to purchase is going to be very expensive, but it's going to produce a lot. Highly steady demand for standardized product. So it has a very good demand for standardized product. It says that main advantages: low unit cost due to constant working of machines, high labor productivity and economies of scale. As the lot of machines are working together, unit cost will be very less, economies of scale will be achieved, productivity, production will be always high. Just-in-time stock management, easy to apply than the other methods. So I'll explain you just in time. Just remember now, don't put it to your head. I will explain you just in time in future. But it's a type of system where when you want the product, you will buy it from the supply and start producing it. Then we have inflexible, often very difficult and time consuming to switch one type to another. So once you have made a production line, you can just change that production line to another production line because you want to change. It is inappropriate. Expensive to set up flow line machinery, and each sections need to be carefully synchronized. You can't just change the lines of the machinery. You can't just make the changes as you expect. It takes a lot of time, and also it is very expensive to change certain areas of machine. Then we move on to next part. Yeah, we got layout planning, if I'm mistaken. Major factors affecting process designs, like what are the things which affect actually when it comes to process designs. Nature of product service demand, the degree of vertical integration, production flexibility, degree of automation, product service quality. I can, rather than say major factors affecting process design, I can say factors to consider. Before production. So what are the factors you need to consider before production? You need to know what type of product, how much integration you have, how much you can length it, how much flexible, what type of automation is there, humans are used more or machines are used, what is the quality you are going to give. So what is the layout planning? Layout planning I taught you on warehousing on chapter number 10. Layout is like if you take one particular premises how you're going to put those resources into that particular premises is known as layout planning. So premises means buildings. In building, where the cupboard should come, where the department should be there, how the work is carried out, everything is discussed under layout planning. Layout plan is determine the best physical arrangement of resource within a facility. Facility resource arrangement can significantly affect productivity. So then we move on next part. So you have 4 layouts I'm going to teach you now. Starting with the process layout, you can see these examples. Number 1, also known as functional layouts, a layout that groups similar activities together in department of work centers according to the process of function that they perform characteristics of operation that serve different customers, different needs. Now you might see here there are 2 types of products they are producing. One is X and Y. Okay, but they have different work centers. You might see this is a department receiving and raw material storage, foundry, rough material, rough machine, fabrication, painting, packaging, and shipping. But you need to understand one particular thing. Based on the customer's preference, they can change this process. The job by can go with first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, and seventh. So fifth and sixth happen in painting department itself. You saw the entire thing change. But if you see job X, it went 1, 2, 3, and it came again fourth procedure to foundry, and it went to fifth. They didn't go for rough machine, and sixth and fabrication, seventh and the painting, and eighth. So the process can use the department in particular, whatever the method they prefer. When they take the work from each department, not in a particular stable process, but if they take the work from different areas and get the work completed, we say it as process layout. Then we move on to the next part, product layout. It's easy. Once you put a product, like it goes one by one, so it doesn't change in between. You see, you like if you keep the product moving on, it will add values to that product in the machine itself. Station 1, station 2, station 3, station n. So it finally finishes. So here the portion of a particular machine is determined as some definite stage or place where the machine is required to perform some operation from sequence of operation designed to manufacture the product. So it has a sequence, it moves on as per the sequence. That's how product layout works. And the third one we say as cellular layout. Cellular layout speaks about where all the required resources are available in one area to meet the processing needs, can be of the product or process layout type. After completion, the product may be finished or go to another cell. Cells attempt to bring order to the product. So here the employee can be in here, in any stations which he like. So he can go and actually help which and he can also supervise how the work is happening in each layer. So normally in a company, here you might see the employee should move here and they are in a particular process way. But here there's no rule like that. You can just go and see how is the inspection just to see, okay, this guy is seeing all these 3 departments, this guy is seeing all these 4 departments. So something like that is given. So they can go and just watch and see how the work is done in cellular layout. And the final one is the fixed position layout. Says that when you're producing some sort of big product, you can't produce in one particular area, but we need to go and produce in that particular area. Now you see here, there's a stadium they're gonna make. I can't make a stadium in my house and take the stadium and go and put near the land. So they need to make a stadium in a land. So they all move to this particular place: electrical contractor, mechanical contractor, architect, general contractor, equipment, bulldozers, trains comes in, material, steel, glass, cement comes in, general labor comes in, and plumbing contractor comes in. All comes and prepares this, then only it become a stadium. So fixed position layout says that it doesn't move actually. All the resource should be brought to that particular place. So then of course production can happen smoothly. So fixed position layout says that layout in which the product or project remains stationary and workers, material, equipment are moved as needed. Examples: large construction projects, building power plants, dams, shipbuilding, production of large aircraft, rockets used to launch space missions. So you might learn 4 types of layouts: process layout, product layout, cellular layout, and fixed position layout. So before we move on to this content, let's take a 2-minute break, guys. So as this is an online session, we need to take break in a while, then only it will be a bit effective. Importance of layout speaks about the objective of layout design is to help the firm meet its competitive requirements. Layout design must achieve high utilization of space, improved flow of information inputs, increase employee morale and safer working conditions, improved customer interaction and flexibility. So layout planning's main concern is about using the place properly in a more effective manner, get the maximum usage from the information and the inputs, and also increase the level of people's morale, because when the working condition is very easy for people to work, to move their things here and there, to move the resource here and there, then of course it takes very few time to produce what they want, and it gives them the satisfaction of producing it in a better way. Flexibility is also an important part of layout. Then we move on to the next part. Formulas you need to remember from this chapter is fixed cost minus variable cost is total cost. You might have the question, what is a fixed cost? Fixed cost is some sort of cost which will not change in nature. So they won't ask what is fixed cost in exam. They will give the fixed cost. You need to take the variable cost. If you add fixed cost plus variable cost, this formula is wrong actually. It should be plus. Okay, so this is wrong. Right here for your knowledge, fixed cost plus variable cost. Variable cost changes with the nature. For example, direct raw material, direct labor, and direct other expense comes under variable cost. Fixed cost you might not change though you produce or not. A rent can be a good fixed cost because though you produce or not, you need to pay rent. That's what we say fixed cost. Total revenue, how do you take it, guys? You take the number of selling units, how much you sell, into the selling price per unit. What is the actual cost of selling that product? You will get the total revenue. Contribution per unit, you take selling price per unit minus this variable cost you can deduct. So you can get contribution per unit. Profit, you take the total revenue, you deduct the total cost, you get the profit. And finally, break-even cost, you take the fixed cost, this cost, and divide by this contribution per unit, selling price minus variable cost here. So contribution per unit is also known as selling price minus variable cost. So knowing this formula is very important, guys. You need to by heart this. There's no second option. In accounting also, you will be tested this question. So you might have known this very deep in accounting chapter, question number 7 or question number 6. Most probably this type of questions can be seen. So then you might see there's one particular line we said as loss, one particular line we said as profit, and when this line is going, this line which is starting from this between is known as the total cost, and the line which is going down is known as the fixed cost. Now, why you might have fixed cost? For example, if you produce it or not, you should pay a rent, right? So maybe your rent is 2,500. So this 2,500 is the minimum actual cost, though you produce it or not, you need to pay it. Then of course it becomes the fixed cost. So it will start from here, the total cost. So from total cost onwards, the more you produce, the more cost will increase. So that's the reason variable cost is making the difference between total cost and fixed cost. But you might see that from the zero, there's a line going on and intersecting and moving up. This is what we say total sales. Also, you can say this as total revenue. Okay, easy as that. So now, if you there's a line which is total sales coming from zero. Why total sales starts with zero, not from here? Because it starts to sell from zero. It doesn't start from a moderate. You don't get incomes that soon. So the more you sell, the more you will touch this point. This is where break-even point we say it as when the total revenue and the total cost meet at one point. This particular area we say as break-even point, and at this break-even point, there's no total cost. I mean, there's no profit, no loss. It's equal. So there's no profit, no loss at this area. Beyond you can draw it, guys. No profit, no loss. Okay, easy as that. Now you might see there's a line going on here. This line is intersecting, and this is what we say margin of safety. What is margin of safety? Actually, the layer they are given here, how much actually you need to sell in order to cover your cost is known as margin of safety. Okay, guys, when it comes to simple understanding, margin of safety is the actual difference between the revenue and the break-even point. Now, you might have, for example, if you got this revenue, now here they are given revenue as 5,000, for example. Now they are given a layer, right? So this 5,000 is the revenue means, let me take this way. 5,000 as revenue means, so 5,000 minus how much? 3,000 is your break even. So you get your margin of safety as 2,000. So margin of safety says that you take your break even point from that particular point, you see the actual difference, that difference between the revenue, total revenue minus, now I'll write the formula if you want here. total revenue minus break-even point. So this gives you the actual value of number of units to be produced in order to make the profit more stronger. Then we move on to the next part of the content. I'm going to erase this off. Knowing this chart is very, very, very important, guys. What is break-even analysis? As I taught you, break-even analysis refers to analysis of break-even point. The BEP is defined as no profit, no loss point, or total cost equal to total revenue curve. It is also called the cost volume profit analysis. Cost, profit, volume, revenue, and profit. Why is it necessary to determine the BEP when there is neither profit nor loss? It is important because it denotes the minimum volume of production to be undertaken to avoid loss. So they are saying that in this particular point only you need to produce at least 3,000 units. You need to produce at least 3,000 units and sell those 3,000 units to make no loss or no profit. Then only you can ensure to make more profit. The more you are producing after 3,000 and selling, the more you can make revenue. So it's a forecasting mindset, how much revenue the business will make and how much money the business should have to cover up the cost. For that only we do break-even point. So what are the advantages of break-even point? It's quick and simple to understand. It's easy to understand. Helps spot potential problems. Can assist when applying for a loan. So when you have a break-even point, then of course if you show it to the bank, this is our target, this is how you're gonna achieve. Bank will be very impressed. Disadvantage is only a forecast. It's not the actual thing. Assumes all products are made and sold. You can't do that actually because you can't expect everything will be sold that easily. Cost may change, not very good for services because prices vary enormously. So when prices are moving always, then of course you can't go with a stable break-even point. The steps of purchasing process can be mentioned as follows. So are given when you are purchasing a product, what are the steps you need to follow? Notify the material requirements to the purchasing department. Like what are the things you want to purchase? You need to inform it to the purchasing department. Finding of a supplier who is going to give you a product at a lower cost, you will find out. Then you place an order, bring the goods, pay the cash. That's what how production process department works. Matters that should be considered before purchasing. I mean, purchasing department works in this particular manner. What are things you need to consider when you are purchasing? Product specification. What are the things are actually there on the product? Quality of materials, super quality or bad quality, low quality. Price, speed in supply, and the continuous availability. Is it always available? How speed it is supplied? Trustworthiness of the suppliers. How much trust do you have to carry out this? And lead time. Lead time is the actual time period it takes the products to reach towards your point and terms of payment. How much they are charging for particular product. Then we move on to the inventory control system. So what is inventory control system? When you control the inventory in a company, there's a way of controlling the inventories. So I'm going to teach you one by one these systems. I want you guys to focus on this area very carefully. So there, the first system I'm going to speak is ABC analysis. Now you might see here the example. Let me teach you the example and then go to the theory. You might see item A, B, C we categorize the highest value. Now you will take a gold shop for an example. In a gold shop, you might have three things, right, guys? Most of the time, I'm going to take diamond first of all as A, and I'm going to take gold as B. I'm going to take C, silver. So these three things you can see. So in a gold shop, if they have diamond, they won't keep the diamond in front like that. They will always keep it in a safe locker. So it needs only a small space, very small space in your shop, and the value will be very high, 70%. But in gold, like when you are keeping gold, 30% required space might be there, 20% might be the value. And silver might be very much high, too much silver in the shop, 60% and 10% in value. For example, guys, normally in a gold shop, they won't keep silver that much. But still they will keep that imitation, the same looking like products they might be having. So that's like a copy of gold. Replica version, I had taken silver, 60% and value is 10%. You see, the more the value it is, the less the space it takes. That's how heavy system says that. So when a customer walks in and asks a diamond, you should go to the less space and give the higher value. That's how it says that. So it involves precise and exact estimation of inventory value. So you will categorize A, B, and C. If you have a big locker, you will have for A small portion, for B for moderate portion, and for C a big portion. Senior managers, professionals are involved in managing the inventory. It requires very strict degree of control because it's very valuable. It involves an approximate estimation of inventory value. Mid-level professional managers are assigned to manage this category of inventory. It requires moderate degree of control. It requires minimal or no estimation of inventory control. The category is usually managed by the junior staff. It does not require much experience. It requires minimal or limited degree amount of degree. That is the first way ABC analysis which we learn. Now I'm going to teach you the second system, inventory control. This has two bin system. Like if you are using two layers, if one layer is finished, you will go for the other layer and start putting it. And when you're filling it, you will fill the first layer, which is less in materials. You'll fill this, and then only you will fill this. So it's very easy, guys. Inventory control method used usually for small or low value items, in which when the first bin is used up, an order is made out for replenishment. Replenishment means like when this is finishing, they will order to fill this. Meanwhile, they'll be using this. The second bin coins contain quantity of the item to last until the ordered quantity arrives. So until the ordered quantity arrives, they will be using the second bin. That's how it works in this company. Then I'm going to move on to the third part. We said as just in time. What is this just in time? Just in time means you need to understand one particular thing. When you don't have a warehouse to hold the cost, so you call and, like, for example, a customer walks into your place and asks the products, I want this product, but you don't have the product. You call your warehouse and say, hey, the customer is asking the product, can you please deliver the product to this place? So that time only you will order. But the good thing is just in time, you don't have a warehouse to keep. You don't want to maintain the goods. Actually, thief will not be there to steal your goods. So many good things you can speak. But the bad thing also there, when you want the good on time, the good won't arrive, means it's a problem. When the supplier doesn't give the goods because you need a small payment to make, problem, customers will not will walk away. And when customers want it urgently, you can't give it urgently because you need to arrange it and bring the product. Then of course it will be a problem to the customer. Just in time is an inventory strategy that strives to improve a business return to investment by reducing in-process inventory and associated carrying costs. Only purchase from supplier when the product is in need by a customer and no warehouse cost is maintained. You might see here, actually, when he needs a product, he contacts the supplier. Supplier brings the product and they produce it. Customer has placed the order and they deliver the product and customer gets the product. That's how it works. And if they don't give the materials on time, everything will go wrong. So that's the worst part of just-in-time management system. Then we have stock level determining system. It says that system making an attempt to hold stocks by determining the various stock levels such as maximum stock level, minimum stock level, or reorder level, and economic order quantities known as stock level determining system. Now you might see here there are a few formulas which are given. You need to by heart this. There's no other way, guys. Average quantity of consumption. You need to take maximum quantity of consumption plus minimum quantity of consumption divided by 2. Reorder level is equal maximum usage into maximum order period, and minimum stock level is equal reorder level minus average usage into average order period. Maximum stock is equal reorder minus minimum usage into minimum order period plus reorder level quantity. When you guys are doing past papers, you have to see this formula. When you guys are attempting, there are more questions in MCQs, so you can attempt it by knowing this. So now, how do we find it is minimum stock level, maximum stock level in this line which is going the maximum? That is what we say maximum stock level, and minimum stock level, also known as the lowest level you might maintain. It might be in between here. 20,000, 10,000 units can be minimum, but less than this 10,000, you see this 0 to 10,000. This area is what we say buffer stock. Actually, 0 to, I can also say 0 to 10,000 is buffer stock. So now what is this buffer stock actually, guys? Buffer stock means the type of goods you keep it for in spare when you in need, like even if it goes minimum, less than minimum 10,000 less than, then you will use this product until the product comes and arrives. Now the time period it takes, now there's a line like right, it goes from you have stocked the product, it goes down and it orders refills. So this time period it takes to refill is what we say time period or cycle time period or time cycle. All these are certain terms you can use in your exam. So cycle time or time cycle, everything is important to understand when it comes to how much time it takes to fill. And the time when you order, you might order at reorder level. Reorder level is where when your product is falling down for a moderate level, you will think, okay, it's time to order the product. So when I order, the product might come to my workplace when it reaches the minimum. So when it reaches the minimum, the time period it takes from 10 to 18 days, the amount of time for the product to come towards your place, that time period is known as the lead time, where once the product comes, they will stock it again. So again, when they are using the product, it might fall into 20,000. They will reorder the product. So when it is falling to zero, the product will arrive. So the time period it takes to do one cycle is known as the time cycle. Knowing the formula is again very, very important. Then we move on to the next other systems. Computer programs also can be used, like barcodes can be used when you are doing the countings, and continuous stock record systems like bin card. Bin card is like a paper. You write how much quantities came, how much quantities went, how much resource they are made, how much sales they have made. All these things will be recorded under continuous stock recording system. So we have a small part to discuss, guys. Yeah. So let's move on to the next topic, economic order quantity. What is EOQ? Economic order quantity is where when your business is holding certain goods, they might need to know how much is the cost of holding particular good. So actually finding out what is the actual cost of carrying out a business, what is the cost you are carrying when you are carrying out a business is known as EOQ. So EOQ is essentially a accounting formula that determines at which the combination of order, cost and inventory carrying cost are at the least. The result is that most cost effective quality to order. In purchasing, this is known as order quantity. In manufacturing, it is known as the production lot size. So they are saying that you need to know how much EOQ you need to have in a business. What is the economic order quantity? At what quantity you need to order in business. Now you have formula you need to remember when it comes to EOQ, square feet, 2DC and PC. So this 2 is just 2 into this D is the annual demand. You see annual stock requirement, annual demand. Then C is cost per order. They will give these values in exams. Divide by cost of holding, or you can also say H, cost of holding. It's still same. So when you put this formula, and you will get the answer EOQ. And when you guys are doing papers, you can attempt this, guys. When you put the square root, you can easily find out. For example, 100,000 square root means when you will be able to get like, for example, if the square root is 8, 16, then of course you need to find the square root is 4, something like that. So now here you might see that when it comes to EOQ module, something is increasing holding cost. The more you hold resources, the more cost will be increasing. So you will try to reduce the cost by ordering it. So the more you order, you see the quantities, the more you order, cost is decreasing actually. So they are saying order it once and keep it. And total cost curves will increasing because of the holding cost. If you hold the goods, the cost will be increasing. So then we move on to the next part, guys. Knowing this chart is important. Applying this formula is important when it comes to revision. When you're doing papers, I'll be explaining you how to actually use these things. Okay, we'll take a 5 minutes break, one final break, and then we'll start at the last particular part. So I'm going to explain you what is a quality first of all. A quality is something what a customer expects for the money he pays. So in a production department, the main concern is the quality. If you can produce the product in the better super quality, people will love the product and they will be purchasing again and again. So to make the quality better, you need to know the quality's meaning. Quality means that a product satisfies the demand of a specific area, and also means achieving a high level of customer satisfaction with the product. If you can give a product and if they feel the value for the quality, feel the quality for the value they pay actually, then of course it is going to be a repetitive sales again. They will come again and again and of course increase the level of sales. So that's the reason in production department, though I sell better, I'm a good seller, the product should be super quality to make the product to move on into the market. Quality of product is a collection of certain elements such as proper functioning, durability, reliability, in accordance with standard, suitability, and also safety. So they're saying that these much of things should be represented in the market in order to become quality-wise much successful on the market. So if you do not have this type of reliability, you can't use for a long time. It's not properly functioning and it's not a constant standard. It is not suiting to you and it's not high safety. Then of course this product will not be reaching the potential market as you expect. So now what is the difference between a quality assurance versus quality control? So I'm going to explain you that. Quality assurance implies all those methodical actions which are necessary to give confidence, enough confidence that the product or service has the requisite quality. Quality control is the industrial management tool that helps in maintaining the uniform acceptable quality in the product by testing samples of goods produced. Now, here what they are saying that quality assurance is giving you an assurance when you sell a product, you give that the product is free from defects, it's completely done, perfectly done, and also it's something you do that the reason you have already know what are the resources you have actually done. You have made a lot of mistakes and you have learned from the mistakes, so you know that this mistake should not happen when you are producing other products, and you are already focused on preventing the mistakes which can happen. But quality control is not like that. You find out the mistake later. Once you have found out the mistake, the mistaken product or the less quality product, you will not produce that particular product again. You will you will move that product and you start focusing on the other products to see is there any defect. But in quality assurance, it doesn't have a defect, because before defect happens, you will try to control the problems. So that's the reason it is process oriented. This is product oriented, because in the process, if you can control the resources, what you input and how can you get the best output, and of course you can reduce the level of mistakes. But in quality control, you actually find out at the production stage or after the production stage. So most probably it is reactive process and it is a proactive. Proactive means you react earlier than what you should react later. Then we move on next part of the system. Quality circles. It's a team of people. You might see a quality circle is a group of workforce members usually formed within same work area or doing similar work, who volunteer to meet weekly uncompensated time to address quality problems that occur within the work area. So certain people in a company comes into the production department, have a look on the production. Is the production going as per the expectation? If not as per the expectation, what are the ways they can ensure to make it going on the expectation? So if production employees have any problems, they can directly say to quality circles and they will address this to the directors and come across with a solution for it. Then we move on to the next part, zero defects. The reduction of defects through prevention with a conscious desire to do the job right the first time. So you produce everything without no wastage. We said a zero defects. Very hard to achieve, but once you achieve it, means it's going to be super awesome, because it's going to be successful. You will not have any returns. Team morale, reputation with customers, eliminate hidden cost, waste reduction, higher customer satisfaction, improve customer loyalty, leads to better sale, high profit. So I will say there's no company in world, majority 99 point no company has 0% defect. The reason, even iPhone had problems, certain products didn't sell because of some sort of problems. Samsung had this bursting problem when you put into charge and overheating it bursted. So every company have gone through ups and downs. There's no company which has no gone through a proven record that they didn't do mistakes. Then we see the definition of quality standard. A quality standard is a specific, concise statement that act as markers of high quality, cost-effective patient care across a pathway or clinical area, are derived from the best available evidence. So you need to understand that quality standard is a statement that this is super quality. It is produced in the best way. In Sri Lanka, you would know Atlas book. I think certain what is this? Yeah. So I can show you the quality. Seriously, you see this, guys. ISO 9001 2015. So ISO 9001 speaks about the give me a second. Give me a second, guys. So ISO 9001 actually speaks about the quality standard in Sri Lanka. So when you produce a book or some sort of material thing, you need to get this ISO standard. So that gives that the book is environmental friendly. You can recycle it. Something you need to meet those conditions to get the quality standard. Statistical process control defined. Statistical process control means you finally control your stocks based on the variation. It goes ups and down, and you know how much control you have made. So you put it in the chart to show how much control you actually made. Then we say the statistical process control. The statistical method of separating variation resulting from special issues from variation resulting from natural causes in order to eliminate special causes and to establish and maintain consistency in the process and enabling process improvement. So what is SPC says that you find out the way how you have controlled the entire thing, you put it in a chart and you start to explain that, means statistical process control. Then we move on to the next part of the content, the last part if I'm not mistaken. Importance of productivity. Why productivity is important? What is productivity? You learned earlier and I said that productivity I'll be teaching you again. Measures how much each an employee makes over a period of time. The difference between production and productivity. Production is the total amount made by business in a given time period. It is calculated by dividing total output by the number of workers. Now, what's the difference between the productivity and production? Actually, productivity is the is actually seen for all the outputs you produce with the number of inputs you have. Production is about you might take dividing total output with the number of workers. Here, one worker, how much you have produced. Here, you take the total number of workers. Here, here also you might do the same thing, but here the input is not going to be the worker, it's going to be always same thing. You can take a lot of productivity items. Here you might see I have taken total productivity is divided by output divided by input, material productivity, output divided by materials, output divided by number of labor hours, and output divided by number of machine hours. That's how productivity works. And what's the importance of productivity? Reduction in the cost of raw materials through increasing productivity of raw material, reduction in labor cost per unit of output, reduction in overhead and power cost per unit of output, reduction in the price of good, increasing in the wages and salaries through schemes for sharing the gains of productivity, increasing the reserves fund that can be flushed for expansion and modernization. So you need to understand one particular thing when it comes to productivity. It's about reducing the price of the good, reducing the labor cost per unit, reducing the level of costing the raw material, and even to increase the wages and salaries. If they produce more, you can give more salaries. No problem, they will work as much, and you can expand from the money you save from production, and that will increase the financial side of the business in a very great manner. Then we have the modern methods in operation management. The new methods which we are using in operations management is this. CAD means computer aided design. It is any design activity that involves the effective use of computer to create, modify, analyze, or document an engineering design. It creates huge amount of additional data that is often stored and managed in the product data management. The output of the CAD system is stored product data management. Now you might see here, before you produce some product, you can produce that product through the computer system and see if this product is going to be successful or not. So designing the product before you implementing the design is a part of product computer aided design. So computer aided design says that if you are producing a product, you should always ensure that the product what you are producing can be produced through the computer, and you can show to the investors, and if that product is successful through the investors, like they will invest. And if that product is not that likely produced in the computer, then people will not invest more because they don't want to spend a lot of tons of money without knowing how the product will be in future. That's the reason CAD system has been brought up. So it's a design which is made by humans working on that. Now we'll move on to the next part of the content. CAM means computer aided manufacturing. It is effective use of computer technology in manufacturing, planning, and controlling. It is the application of computer technology to the areas of manufacturing, planning, and controlling. So when you are producing a manufacturing, you use a lot of computer technology to get the work done. We say it as computer aided manufacturing. Simple as that, guys. Then we have the next part of the content says that computerized integrated manufacturing. SIM is the manufacturing approach of using computers to control the entire production process. You might see here a car has been made within this. No one is getting involved. So the entire car is made within this system. The car moves on, it goes, and the tire fixes, and the layer fixes, these things fixes, everything happens in an automated way, integrated in automated way. Is the manufacturing approach of using computers to control the entire production process. This integration allows individual processes to exchange info with each other and initiate actions. Through the computer's integration, manufacturing can be faster and less error prone. Although the main advantage is the ability to create automated manufacturing process. Typically, CIM relies on closed-loop control process based on real-time input from sensors. It is also known as flexible design and manufacturing. So SIM is a good thing, but very expensive. The reason it is a entire thing is done in machines. You see one guy or two guys looking after this entire system, is it working or not? But actually, it will work fine. If there's any shortages, they'll go and have a look onto the system. And finally, computer numerical control. Is using the numerical keyboard. You must see this lady is using a lot of numbers. So you type numbers to get the work done, like to print and to get the work done. So the numbers, and of course we say it as CNC. Means computer numerical control. This means a computer converts the design produced by computer aided software CAD into numbers. The numbers can be considered to be the coordinates of a graph, and they control the movement of the cutter. In this way, the computer controls the cutting and shaping of the material. G code is a standardized programming language that many CNC machines understand. The CNC system consists of 3 basic components, not important for exams. So you need to understand one particular thing, guys. CNC is about maintaining a machine or controlling the machines with just numbers is known as computerized numerical control. So the modern technological methods are CNC, CIM, CAM, and CAD. I hope you guys understood today the class in a better manner. Most probably, I hope I'll be doing the other chapters on the next class, guys. Uh, Before saying some words, guys, I want to speak for you guys. Let me end this recording for a while. Yeah. Thank you for watching the entire video, guys.